What's up, sports freaks, and welcome back to another installment of All Sports Media Team presents Drbl. This is episode number 45. We are a handful of numbers away from episode 50. What I'm going to do, I don't have a freaking clue. Do I ever have a clue? Hell no. But that's what makes this show fun. So, what do we got coming your way today? Coming your way today, we got a girl who is a multi-time champion in multi-different areas. She's a CBA champion. She was a high school champion. She's the captain of her women's league that she's in with the N2S's, which we'll find out what that's all about in a little bit. She's also a CIF champion, but she's smart and she's got a really good heart, and you'll find out why in just a little bit. Before we do that, I'm going to give a shout out to my dude over there. He's doing a remote out in Chatsworth at the Basketball Beauties game. Mr. Multitasker himself, George Ochoa. Give us a thumbs up so we know you're alive, George. There's our dude right there, George Ochoa. He'll be popping in occasionally whenever he wants. But let's talk about the woman of the hour right below us down here. And don't let her cleanliness and all this fool you. Like, she apparently just got out of practice, which I refuse to believe because she looks that good. We got the real EST, Estela Gutierrez. What's going down, girl?
Not much. Just got out of practice. Had some cereal.
Quick, right. So, how was practice?
It was good.
Cool.
It was good.
Run anything new? Any new drills or anything? What team was this for?
This is for LA Hams. It's a new team that they're trying to start out in LA.
Okay. I'm telling you guys, this girl is a multitasker. She does everything. You're going to find out very soon what I'm talking about. All right. Estela, first off, thank you so much for joining us. We talked a couple weeks ago. I was hoping to get an interview with you this week, but life circumstances said otherwise. But we got the real deal right now. So it's all good. Just sit back, relax. Just let's hear your story. Let's have some fun. We'll bounce off of what you say and we'll go from there. And then of course we have those silly questions that we always have at the end for everybody. So be ready for those as well. But I promise you it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. And hopefully George will pop in occasionally. But if not, you got to look at this mug the whole day. So I'm sorry. So with that said, Estela, you're the real EST. Go ahead and take control. Let's just get some background on you, childhood to now. And we'll just have some fun. We'll bounce off of what you got and go for it. The floor is yours. Go for it.
I'm Mexican-American. I'm the baby of 6.
Oh, wow.
I have 4 sisters and a brother.
Okay.
I have 7. Okay. I have, 4? Oh, I forgot. 4, wait, is it 4 nieces, 3 nephews?
Damn. Yeah. Okay.
I played, I started seriously taking basketball serious when I was in the 11th grade, when I transferred to Linwood High School. After that, I went to a junior college in Colorado for 2 years, received my there, and then came back home and got recruited for another school out here in Anaheim. And then that didn't go too well. So then I took a year off of basketball, just trained, and did lift. Just so I could maintain the workouts and be able to have the time for it. And eventually got a full ride to Simpson University for my last year, which was about 2 years ago. And then recently, 2 years ago, I got a job at a psychological care and healing center, where I am a psychiatrist assistant now.
That's really cool. I love psychology. I love that. Psychiatry. I love it.
I didn't know how much I loved it until it ended up being my job, and I had no other choice, and it ended up being really great. So
do you catch yourself people watching like crazy now?
You said what?
Do you catch yourself people watching like crazy ever since you started doing that? It just happened.
Honestly, not really. I'm pretty good at like just minding my business. I don't try to look too deep into stuff.
But you're not even like discreet about it, just like to yourself.
I mean, for my personal reasons, yes, of course.
Okay.
I always like look at, but if it's like, stuff that doesn't matter, then no, I'm not gonna pay too much mind to it.
Okay. It's all good. Cool. And then, so you went for the psychology. What happened after that?
Right now, I'm still working there as a psychiatrist assistant, and then playing a bunch of leagues, training again with 2 of my good friends from back in the day that are starting to train me again now that the pandemic's pretty much slowing down a little bit more. So getting back into all of that.
Okay.
I'm a big family person. I'm always visiting my mom and my sisters and
Mhm.
my dogs. And then
Good.
I live in downtown with my roommate.
Okay.
I met her at my job recently. I met her there. So yeah, we've been living here for almost a year now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, and that's in downtown LA.
downtown, yes.
Okay. How's that? It's a
Oh,
different
it's cool. I love
lifestyle,
it.
right?
It's dope. I mean, I'm born LA's LA, born and raised, so I love it.
It's your jam right there. Okay.
Yeah, just being out of state so much. I've finally been like here, like
Mhm.
stability here. It's nice not to be moving so much and
I bet.
just kind of going through the same motions. It's nice to just kind of do my own thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the plan after, after hooping? Like, do you have anything in general that you're looking forward to later on? Or is it just,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
actually trying to get into a master's program
Oh, that's
for
awesome.
the fall for social work, so I can hopefully one day combine basketball and mental health together.
Oh my God, that would be so cool. To have like,
Yeah,
that would be so cool. We need more of that, like honestly, because
yeah.
there's a lot of people out there that are just like, oh, I'm gonna go into psychology or psychiatry, but then they're like total a-holes about it, like you need
Oh
people
yeah.
who care.
People who care, exactly. People who care, who want to see the difference, who know that they might not be able to help so many people, but if you can help one or two or three in your lifetime, like I think your job is pretty much done. So
Okay, are you looking to more focus with adults, or I guess since you're going back, are you going hooping? Are you looking more like teenagers, or what's
I
the
would
plan for that?
say I would say a little bit of everything.
Okay.
Especially growing up where I grew up, seeing that the community doesn't have any type of resources for the young kids either is actually something that opens my eyes up a lot from wanting to do, the youth of course, but also the elderly. I feel like they're not very knowledgeable about all these things that really go on in our lives and how much more they can get help. So I just kind of want to give that resource out. Hopefully, sometime in the next few years to be able to give them a platform where they can have a place to come, whether you're going to play a sport in there or you're going to come in just to get therapy or
Okay.
anything like that.
That was
Yeah.
my next question because you're saying you want to combine psychiatry and basketball. I was going to ask you how you wanted to go about doing that. Were you going to like watch them as they play or have them do certain drills that are actually a mental drill and they don't know it? Or is that what you're looking more at? Or are you just, what's the plan there?
Um, I think it'll be based more off of like we're there for the sport, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm also gonna be observing a lot for sure. To see if because a lot of people, especially kids, like they're not gonna run and tell anyone their business. They're not gonna run and be like,
Yeah.
oh, like this is how I feel. But then you're also gonna have the kids that are like, miss, like it's tough at home. So just to be able to have them be that comfortable with me and my staff there, I think it'll be very helpful, but also definitely like keeping an eye out. And definitely letting them know that they can come to us, like verbally telling them like
Yeah.
come to us. But like I said, it can be more difficult than I think, just because they are younger and they don't like to open up about a lot of things,
Yeah.
and they probably don't even know nothing about like therapy or don't even believe. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
believe in it
A
anyways.
lot of people don't.
So
I've
yeah.
worked in after school programs and I've worked in the school system for years off and on. And the things that I would hear, like I don't even want to say on here. I've said on here before actually. When I worked in a school out in Tustin, I had a girl who was 12 and was afraid to tell her parents that she was coming out because she was afraid they were going to kick her out at age 12.
Wow.
She was
Yeah.
Hispanic. She was full-fledged Hispanic. The mom's total traditional, and
Yeah.
I pray to God that she's still alive now because of those issues. She was cutting, and she was 12.
Wow.
She was 12.
Wow.
Like,
That's really
but
that's
that's why I love that you're thinking about doing this because you're still young, and you can relate to them, and they'll come to you. Like I heard things from my kids that some things I shouldn't have heard, some things that they just weren't comfortable telling anybody else. And working in the school
right.
system, if you hear certain things, you have to say something, certain things you don't. But the
Yeah.
fact that, like, and you might get this as well, I was called the only father figure that one kid had, and you might get that sister figure, mother figure, whatever, you never know. So you're going to make a big difference with that. Estela, we're only 17 minutes into the show and you're already showing how big of a heart you have. Like, this is cool. I'm just putting it out. And then you have the smile. So that just adds on to it. Like, this is
I
super
appreciate
cool.
you.
So we appreciate you. Okay, so we're talking about that. You're balling. Okay, so we all know you're a baller because you're on our show. You ball all over the place. Like, what projects do you have on the court right now, like team wise? Like, are you on 3 teams, 2 teams? What's the deal right now?
So I played Thursday. And we're gonna start another on Saturday, and then Sunday, and then the team that I practice with today. So I would say like 4 now.
Oh my gosh. So Thursdays, Saturdays. How do you, what advice can you give to people that want to do something like that, whether it's sports or multiple jobs, or how do you maintain that, Like keep that out there?
Honestly, like I could just go to my 9 to 5, come home, watch movies, watch shows, lay down, go to sleep, get some rest.
Mhm.
But when you have a passion for something, it's just that drive, just that mindset that it's like, no, like I have to go and do this because you prioritize it. And I would say just if you prioritize something and you're passionate about something, like you're gonna get up and do it. You're gonna put in the extra work. You're gonna go out there and be like, okay, I'm tired, but nah, like I know that I have to go handle this, or I have to go put some time in this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like just keeping your dreams alive, keeping your life exciting too, because I think a lot of people, like not in a bad way, but a lot of other people do their job and then just go home and that's it. And it's like a routine. But what I really love about my life is that I don't really, yes, I do have a routine like we all do, but at the same time, like it's so many things and so many different areas that I'm doing and stuff that people don't know about, and things of just like that are not shown that I feel like make me even busier than what you think, but it's just like being passionate about all these things and just being able to find the time for it, really.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I'm in media, and I mean, look at George. He's freaking doing this and videoing a game right now.
Yeah.
Me, I'm doing this, and then next week I'll be working at Angel Stadium for 2 weeks straight, and then
Damn.
a couple weeks after that, I'm gonna be doing some media out in San Diego. It's like you just gotta keep busy, and I'm dead. It's like you just gotta keep busy, but
Yeah.
you gotta keep your stuff in line. But
Yeah.
that's with anything. That's not just sports. And sometimes people get, well, this is good that you're saying this because a lot of people get overwhelmed. They're like, oh my God, I have this, and then I have this meeting, and I have this, and then my kid has to go here, and I have doctor's appointment, whatever. Line it up, just line it up.
Yeah.
You're comfortable.
It's about lining it up for sure and like figuring out the cracks of where you could input all of that stuff in that day and make it as productive as possible. I think also I don't have those kinds of thoughts really of, oh my God, like I have this, I have that, I have a workout this time, and then I have to go do this with a friend, or I have to go take my mom here, or I gotta put some time in with homework because I'm also in school. So I'm like, it's just a bunch of stuff. So there's just like boom, 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 but
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing that I've recognized about myself being able to handle all of this is patience, really, and just letting it come to me as the day comes.
Yeah, it's very difficult, but it's such a cool adventure, right? It's like you never know what's coming next,
Nah,
So
no. My roommate always tells me, she's like, "Oh, you're leaving again? Oh, you're busy. Like, you're always busy. Like,
you don't even live here. You just
yeah,
live
basically."
here.
She really tells me that too. She's like, "Do you even live here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do."
That just means you're doing your job right. It means you're doing what you were meant to do. You're following your passion. It's the same thing.
That's what I'm hoping that I'm doing, man.
Yeah. Well, you're showing it. You're showing it. You show it on the court all the time. And before I jump into the court, let's talk family a little bit. You started at the very beginning. You said you're the youngest of 6, or
Yes.
Okay, so you were either getting all the attention or fighting for the attention. So and you're the girl, so I'm going with you were getting the attention. So am I wrong? No, opposite?
You're wrong.
Were you fighting at the table always? Yeah.
Nah, my parents were always working as a kid. They were always working. So they're great parents. I love my parents. If you know me, you know that they're like my rock, my everything, everything I do is for them, because of their background and what we've been through and just like where we want to be, so like Honestly, they've been doing janitorial work for about 24 years. So
Okay.
I would literally go to school 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., whatever, and then come home around 3:30 before playing sports or anything like that. But when
Yeah.
I was younger, and then my mom was already at the bus stop by like 3:30, and then she wouldn't come home until 3 a.m. And then when I had school, I didn't want to wake her; she was sleeping.
Of course.
My dad, same thing. My dad would work from 6 to 3 in the morning, also. So it just never really had, the time. So we would have to kind of like lean on each other, and
Yeah.
that's why two of my oldest sisters, they're like, I see them as like my moms, and it's like a different kind of respect because I remember them a lot more. When I was younger, I knew what my mom was doing. I understood it. I've always understood it. So like, that's why I don't have any type of like resentment towards it or anything like that, because I know that she was just trying to put food on the table. And growing up, even like going into college and needing the support in the sport, especially being away from home, it got difficult, like to know that they were not really, putting the attention that I wanted. But at the same time, it was like, this is what we're used to, like work, and I kind of was the one to leave out of stay in school and do all these things. So it's different. It was different for me. I felt kind of like the elephant in the room at times, but it's a beautiful thing now, like being where I am now with my family, where we are now. It's a lot better. And you just kind of start to understand things and like put yourself in other people's shoes to realize like this stuff is like, I'm fortunate, like, I might not have everything, but I'm so fortunate compared to like what they've been through or what my siblings have been through. Is definitely I'm just grateful to be able to live the life that I live compared to like what we're used to.
Yeah. And that's a lot of athletes have that story where it's like the hard working parents, but they didn't see them that much. And their big brother, the big sister was there for them most of the time. Or nobody was there for them and they just had to keep themselves busy. And that's why they went into sports and went into do what they were doing. So do you feel by watching your mom and dad work as hard as they did, do you feel you got some of that drive and some of that determination from them, from seeing what they did every day?
Oh, most definitely. No doubt about that. No questions asked about that, for sure. Whether that's at work, whether that's basketball, whether that's just in life, whether that's a tough patch in life too, like it doesn't, you just kind of have to remember to just like work hard at, whether that's waking up in the morning and trying to make yourself smile, or waking up in the morning and getting all the stuff they need to get done at work, and being a leader at work or on the court, just being a teammate, or just showing that, you're here to get better. You're here to make sure that, we put ourselves in the best position to win, or things like that. It's contagious.
Yeah.
So I know you can't really teach hard work at the end of the day sometimes, but I am so grateful for my parents. Like just even my sisters, my siblings, like they work very hard too. And like, it's just really nice to have seen so many examples. And it's like, why would I not be like them,
Yeah.
So
good example.
I definitely see it though, for sure. I definitely got it from them. They're like,
awesome.
I met a lot of people in my life and nobody tops them.
Yeah. And a lot of the time it's like that, a lot of the time it's like, this is my, like you said, this is your rock, and I love the fact that the field you want to go in after hooping, you want to be somebody else's rock. Maybe it's a foster child. Maybe it's someone who doesn't have a family, and here you are stepping up into that role. So, and you won't even know it. I'll tell you right now, you won't even know it when you're doing it. And eventually that person, kid, adult, whatever, they'll come up and they'll tell you eventually, or they'll show you in some way or another. So you're also huge on family, but you also, I noticed on your page that you get to travel a lot. You've been a lot of places. What are some pretty cool places you've been to? Did you go with family? Did you go with hooping? How did that work for you?
I would say the most recent one that was pretty legit was Taiwan. I went out there for a missions trip with my school.
There you go with the big heart again. Go on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, how was that? Let's hear it.
Oh man, it was amazing. We were out there for 3 weeks. Just a different scenery, just like different people, just like learning a new language little by little. We would take about they would give us like 2 days out of the week they would give us, Chinese classes and stuff. A lot of walking, a lot of new food to try. Don't try sticky tofu. Oh my God.
Don't try it?
No,
You want that
it
type
was
of guy.
gross.
I like
It just
that.
smells. Obviously, it's called stinky tofu for a reason, but
Fake tofu.
it was
Okay.
crazy.
I don't like any tofu. So okay, gotcha. Gotcha. I thought I heard of something else.
But
Okay.
yeah, we were out there to share the gospel and to talk about God and to being out there though, you would see like it's totally different from the US, like that quick. Like those people had no idea who God is, had no idea
Wow.
of faith, of hope, of a new life. They just had no clue. So to be able to just share the word and share that, it was like that was the biggest reason why I was there. So like to just be able to try to instill that into people was definitely something that I feel like God looked out for me about, because I would have never thought I would have did something like that in a million years. Honestly, I didn't think so. So to be able to have done that and took the role that I did and to just learn a lot, like that's my biggest thing, is being able to just learn from these things. It was really amazing for sure.
Yeah, doing any type of charity work, you never know who you're going to run into, what you're going to run into, what situations, and it's something you'll never forget. We did when I went with the Oxford Orcas, we did a pillow drive with the homeless, and
Oh wow.
we went into the trenches. George was in a different group, but me and my partner G, we went into the trenches, and we had this like 9-year-old kid come out. I have a
Wow.
9-year-old, so it hit me hard, It hit
Yeah.
me, and I was like, wow. And he was first he was scared because he thought we were the cops, because it was like 6 of us just walking around, like knocking on doors and stuff. And he came out of this like cardboard fort kind of thing, and I was just like, wow. And he was just grateful for this one pillow, and it was just like surreal.
You'll be surprised.
It was surreal, like you check yourself in those moments. You're like, damn, I have so much, and I'm complaining about little shit, and this kid's crying over a pillow and getting to meet a professional basketball player, because we had some of the players with us. Shout out to Kenny. And he just talked to the kid, and then we talked to the kid, and it's just something I'll never forget, And we did this almost 2 years ago, So
wow.
that's so awesome. Yeah, mission trips are fun. That's another one. You never know what's going to happen.
For real.
Yeah. But did you sign up for it? Did your church reach out to you, or how did that go?
Well, the school that I went to was a Christian school. So,
cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I was just part of a group. At first, it was just a group. And then eventually they asked me, they're like, would you love to, like to do that? And I was like, definitely. And then the group that I was put on was to go to Taiwan. There was like also like
so cool.
I think it was El Salvador, Mexico, you name it, honestly. And like all those countries that need a lot of help are like were the ones that people where they made groups to go. And it was honestly really amazing. I got to go with people I knew, with people that I was comfortable with people I knew that had my best interest and I knew would help me. So it was definitely nice to be able to experience that for 3 weeks out there. It was something for sure. And to be able to come back and talk about it to my family was and friends and people that don't really get to do that. It was that's always like the biggest thing for me, to be able to just share that. So they know that they can, one day do it themselves too. So
yeah, you never know. So I did all the lives you touch, And the cool thing about spreading the gospel is, we're big. I'm a born again Christian. I know a lot of the other members of my panel that's usually here are as well. Is you never know what you're gonna do. You never know how you're gonna serve your Lord. You don't know how. It could be something as small as buying a cheeseburger for a homeless person and then just talking to them. You never know. They're like, oh my God, they could be like, there's hope. There's actually humanity out there. They don't go off and go buy drugs, or they don't go off and do something stupid, like you never know. So let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit. I know we already promised we were going to talk about high school, and I promise I'll keep that promise for you. I just want to ask you about the CIF though. What was it like to win a CIF title?
Honestly, it was amazing. That was my first year actually playing at a good school and taking it seriously. So at the time I was actually playing JV, and I got moved up to varsity for playoffs. Those girls, our starting 5 were legit, like D1. They were really good. So I didn't really get to experience it like I wanted to, because I was so fresh, I was so new. but just still being part of a team that fought like that, a team that was just that good was definitely something to always remember. And it was cool. Like we played in a different arena. Like that was probably one of the biggest arenas I played for. But honestly, like that was like my first time. Like I had just started playing basketball, like so. It was like, oh wow, like that's cool, you know. But to this day, like I just never forget it. It really like made me. I just kind of like gave me that fire to be like, you know what, I want to be able to win when I'm on varsity the next year, you know, like straight away, you know. So like I said, just being around those girls and being around like you know, athletes that were like that good, I was like, wow, like there's so much more potential that like that can be reached, you know. So it was definitely a learning experience, definitely like a push on the back to continue to do
of course.
What I was doing.
And the fact that you could pick up on their game while you're playing, you know, or you could pick their brains. The one thing about being so green when you go into something and you're green is you got to humble yourself. You know, you got to be like, hey, yeah, I'm good, but I'm on the bottom of the totem pole here. You know, like I'm learning from her. I'm learning from her. I see her jump shot. I see how she's blocking. You know, how she's boxing out, stuff like that. You know, and you pick up on that and be like, hey, hey, your game is really cool. You know, could you teach me blah blah blah. Because a lot of people, majority of people like that. They feel flattered. They want to teach you, you know? Did you have any, either high school or college, did you ever have any teammates that you wanted, or you asked questions to or reached out to that were just kind of standoffish by any chance?
Like standoffish, like they didn't want me to ask.
Like they were just like, oh, this broad's trying to take my spot. Like, no, I ain't gonna help her, you know?
Honestly, the people that I ended up wanting to ask questions to were always like, we were great friends. So I can't even, or if I knew that they were stuck up, I would just be like, I'll watch from a distance. I'll learn from a distance. I don't even want the drama.
Yeah, even stuck up people can ball, you know?
Yeah.
The NBA and the WNBA. So
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we're about a half hour in. Okay. Actually, let's rewind that. Ooh, I forgot about this one. The Winter CBA Championship. Can you talk to me a little bit about what that was? And was that with the N2Ss, or was that with a different team? Or
I think it was with N2S.
Okay.
I can't think. I can't remember.
It was a winter league from what I saw.
I'm trying to. I don't remember. It might have been though, but that one was really special. It was all of those girls were like, to this day, like we're my closest friends or some of my closest friends. So we were just playing freely, honestly. Like, and it was so easy. So we all knew where to be. We all knew where to cut. We all knew what we all could do, and just put ourselves in positions where we knew that, you know, we were gonna win. So it was honestly really, really nice to be able to be part of a team that just kind of knew or was in sync, you know, to know where everybody needed to be and stuff like that.
Was that out of country, or was that here in the States? Or
no, that was here in the States. I think it was part of like a Latino tournament or league.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I know a lot of those take place in like Mexico and stuff. So that's awesome. Okay, we just mentioned the N2Ss. I left them for last for a reason, because those are the ones only ones I've seen. You know, those ones I've seen you ball with those awesome green shoes that you always wear, or the neon color shoes. Got a shout out to those things. Okay, first off, Estela, you're the captain of that team. Let's be real. Like, you're the leader. You told me that you actually brought that team together. Can you explain that story a little bit, and then tell us what the heck is an N2S?
So first of all, it stands for nothing to something.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah. Actually, like maybe 2-3 years back, I came up with the name. It took me a while. I was just thinking of what can I think of you know, that's gonna resemble me and my family and just kind of what I've been through. And that came to mind. I know a lot of people at the time, at least, I didn't hear it very much. I hear it a lot more now. And for that reason, I had I'm just gonna find a new name kind of thing. Cause I've been wanting to start like a travel ball team and have a girls team and, you know, all these things. So I was just like, you know what, like I'll just leave it. And I actually recently, when this league came upon me, they told me that, oh, you should get a team. And I was like, all right, got a team and whatever. And then I told my brother. So my brother at the time, which was maybe a few months ago, he had showed me the logo that we have on the jersey. He had showed it to me. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I said, but like, you didn't tell me that you were gonna, make a logo out of it.
Yeah,
I had like I had put it like
yeah.
yeah, I had like put it behind me. I was just like, I'm gonna start new.
Yeah.
So then when I saw that he had the logo, I was like, hey bro, like I'm gonna start this league. Like I'll just use that name. And he was like, yeah, definitely. So I could like put his stuff out there as well. So
okay. Again with the family.
So that's really why I put it out there. But like who started it? Definitely, like that was me. I actually in the beginning of it, before that logo, I actually drew some stuff up before like anything was like made up. Like I was supposed to get on it, but I ended up going out of state again, so I didn't have the time to do it. So to be able to see that my brother ended up still wanting to keep the name going was cool. So I just kind of wanted to help him out by shouting him out, and it had to do with like me starting it with the whole meaning and the story behind it. And so him continuing it, I was like, you know what, like I got you. I'll put it on our jerseys, and we're kind of back to square one with that. And more of wanting to show the Latino side of it.
I was just gonna get into that. The colors, the red, the green. Was that a shout out to the Hispanic heritage?
Oh, definitely.
I love it because that honestly, when I saw your jerseys for the first time, that's the first thing I saw. I was like, oh, I love these. I like these colors because it's such like nationalistic vibe. Yeah, you're not all either from Mexico or from El Salvador or whatever.
Yeah.
You probably have family from there. You guys aren't living there, but like the colors, that's the vibe that I got. And I thought that was super, super cool. And I love that I know what the name means now because it'll make sense now when I talk about it on Thursdays. Like I can tell Jordan, M2s.
Yeah, I think a big reason why we wanted to keep those colors were because I come from an immigrant family. Like,
okay,
still, my parents still don't have papers. A few of my siblings still don't have papers. So I take a lot of pride in that. I take a lot of pride in doing it for the culture and trying to, put out the Hispanic heritage and having people see that Mexicans can do it too, or Hispanics can do it too.
Hey, there's some badass Hispanics that play basketball. Ricky Rubio. I mean,
yep.
You got Spain. You got the Gasals. Like, hey, let's get some love out there. Come on now.
That's basically like the biggest thing. Obviously, the meaning of it, but the colors definitely stood out to me too because I'm really big on my culture and I take pride in that, and I love it. I love my culture, so.
I can see that. I love it. I'm proud Puerto Rican. I have a Puerto Rican flag tattooed on my arm. So I absolutely love it. No one ever believes I'm Puerto Rican, but whatever. Actually, I was with my family yesterday for a funeral and a big reception. You know how we do. We have the funeral. My son's so funny. We were in the car. This is totally off our show, but whatever. My son, we're in the car. We're leaving the funeral. He's, Daddy, I'm hungry. I'm like, oh, we're going to go to cousin Danny's house, blah, 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 blah. He's like, but Daddy, I'm hungry. I'm like, Louis, you're Puerto Rican. There's going to be food. There's going to be lots of food. Come on now. So we're all about family. I love that you are that way because I'm the exact same way. I did have one quick question before we jump into the book that you're talking about writing. Pandemic. What advice can you give to someone? I know the pandemic's not as bad now. It's still bad. Don't get me wrong. But like some people who are either afraid to go out and ball or they don't want to go to a gym to train. Like, what did you do during the darker times of the pandemic? How did you keep yourself in shape and stuff?
Thankfully, I have a really good my brother has a really good we both do, I would say, a really good connection with a gym like 2 blocks away from where my mom lives, where I grew up in South Central.
Okay.
That honestly, like they would let us open up the gym to get in there when we could at no cost. So they kind of gave us a key to be able to go in there and do that. So
awesome.
I'm super, super, super grateful that they, gave us, have faith in us to be smart, to not invite a lot of people to just, get in and get out. So being able to have had that key and be able to let them, have them let us go in there was definitely a blessing, because I know that a lot of people had no type of access to any kind of gym. So to be able to have had the access, I would say definitely like I'm super grateful because yeah, it was tough though, because I would be in there by myself and then you need a rebounder or you need whatever the case. And then it would just be my brother and I, or he couldn't do it or he couldn't work. Or I invite, as the pandemic got better, I invite more and more people and stuff like that. But even to this day, they're letting us have more people, and I could be in there every day if I could now. And actually recently my apartment, the amenities here actually just opened up. So I'm excited about that. But yeah.
So
that's where I was at. And then obviously you got to get it in where you can.
I was just going to say that, like, where if you're stuck at home, you know, what do you want? If you can't shoot a ball, do you lay there and just throw it up in the air like that? You know, in baseball, we used to do that all the time. Just throw a baseball up and catch it with the seams. Throw a baseball, catch with the seams, you know? Little drills, you know? Is there something that you could recommend to someone who's either too afraid to go out right now or is just coming out of that mental, you're just like the psychiatrist type. The mental game is still playing around in their head a little bit and they don't want to go out to a gym. They don't want to go to a park. What can they do? Like, what advice would you give them?
I mean, there's a lot of ways to order things for sure. Like Amazon, you know, everybody, there's so many ways to get things at your door. So honestly, stretching was a big deal for me because you're just in here, you're not really moving. So stretching, a lot of people I know had treadmills, have bikes and stuff like, you know, so those things are very helpful too. And also too, like if they're into weights, they can do weights. There's different kinds of drills that you could do with a basketball. Also, you could do with a lot of things. And also too, like I had my mom's backyard too for a little bit, so I was always working out there. Since I really took basketball serious, I didn't care if I didn't have no cones. I'll use a Kool-Aid jar and just put it there and I'll use it as a cone. Yeah, basically whatever works. So honestly, I would say bands for sure. You know, the bands are really good. You could do so much, even if you don't have weights, you can use those bands too, for some arm workouts. And then I would say stretching for sure is number one. A lot of water, a lot of hydration for sure. I can't really say one drill, but or one workout. That's like I'm like,
different workouts are different for different people, you know.
Yeah, so it just kind of depends on what they're trying to work on. Then I could kind of go off of that. But for myself, I know stretching helped a lot. Running in place, abs, just watching too what you eat, make sure that you're not eating big old portions, and make sure you're not just out eating out and just Uber Eats all day. Like that's not gonna do nothing. I mean, you can eat, some people can eat whatever the hell they want, and they're like, wow, like they never get fat. But it's like then you have some people that can. So like just honestly just watching what you eat, and trying to just find any way to get a workout. And there's so many things that you can do in a house, definitely. So I wouldn't say people find an excuse, but if it's like no motivation just being in a house, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very
but definitely finding that motivation to be able to just get that workout in no matter what, where, is probably like the biggest advice I could give, is to want to do it, want to still stay active in any way possible.
Absolutely. I love the fact that you said the word motivation, because I was going to have one more question about this. Mental game. What did you do for your mental game that you could advise to other people? Because a lot of people are still going through that, whether it's with work or it's with a significant other, or it's with another job, another sport, or kids, or whatever it is. How can you maintain your mental game during something like that?
Honestly, it's the fact that I'm still here.
Okay.
It's the fact that it wasn't me. It wasn't me that ended up, passing away because of, that virus, or also to like my job. It continuously humbles me every single day just to see what some of these clients go through. And even just to have a few athletes that I know that have come to me and are openly telling me like what's going on during the pandemic, and just kind of hearing their story and just realizing that I'm really grateful that it's not me going through that. So honestly, it's just for me that simple, just being able to, how do I say it, like, just like like I told you earlier, like just putting yourself in other people's shoes really, and realizing like it could be you, but it's not. So that's what motivates me a lot, is just seeing that it could easily be you, and thankfully it wasn't, or it hasn't been, and I hope it's not.
And then the fact that you actually go out there and help the ones that are struggling, it makes it even better. So
Yeah, I worked the whole pandemic.
yeah, it's been insane.
Yeah.
All right. Enough of my jibber jabbering. We got maybe about 10 minutes. Are you good to go over the hour? Are you okay?
Whatever. Yeah, I'm down
Okay,
for
cool.
whatever.
I hope to not keep you no more than another 30 minutes. So you told me during our original interview at P4E, I didn't even ask about this. You told me that you were writing a book or you wanted to write a book. I want to hear about this. We want to hear about this. Is this your like a life bio? Is it going to be strictly baller? Is it going to be like mental? Well, now that I know you love the mental game, is it going to be something to do with that? Like, fill us in. We need to know so that we know what we're waiting
I've actually haven't talked to the. I've always just told people, hey, I want to write a book, and they're like, about what? They'll tell me like, we'll talk about like serious stuff, and then I'm like, I really want to write a book about it. And but I've actually haven't told people this like at all. So like this is like, you know what I mean? Because I haven't really told anyone about it. But
into detail.
Not like if I want to go into detail, it's just gonna be about like literally like what you said, like from the family to basketball to the mental health to the just everything. I just want to kind of what I yeah, we are. I mean, I told you a little bit about myself and about my family and about basketball and all these things, but I just kind of want to be able to talk about it from beginning to end, and just like the path and just like literally every step of the way. I want to just be able to hopefully mainly inspire another Hispanic, athlete to, or immigrant families to see that, we can do it too.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that's probably like my biggest thing on wanting to write that book is just a lot of people tell me too, they're like, wow, like that's crazy, like from my parents to what they've been through to my sisters to me to just everything going on. It's kind of like they've also motivated me to be like, honestly, like you actually should. It's ridiculous.
But honestly, Estela, that makes it even better because of the stuff that you've been through. You can be like, hey, you out there that are struggling, whether you're black, white, yellow, purple, don't matter. You're going through this. I went through this. Yes, it was hell, but I'm still standing and I'm helping other people stand in the process because I don't want them to go through what I went through, or I want to help them so that if they are going through it, that they can, even just a little advice that you gave today about the mental game and about the stretchy bands, anything that goes a long way with people because a lot of people don't know. And the fact that you bring the nationality into it makes it even bigger because you're relating to anybody. It could be, like I said, El Salvadorian, Puerto Riqueño, Mexicano, whatever. It could be anybody who had that immigrant family. They're struggling. They didn't know when they were going to eat, and here they are slowly making it. You got like 4 different teams. You're the leader of a team. You're changing lives in Taiwan. You're a multi-time champion. I can go on and on. You're going to be an author. It's huge, and it shows that no matter how far down you're getting knocked down, as long as you keep getting up, you can stay on your feet and you can make things bigger and better for not just you, but for other people in the future, whether you have kids or your nieces, your nephews, or just like they said, that homeless guy on the street that wants to kill himself that day. And you're like, hey, bro, you know what? Come with me. We'll go grab a burger. Just little stuff like that. I've been there, man. My family struggled for years, hey, get whatever you want, and little things like that are huge and change lives. And if you write a book like that, it's going to affect so many people. So even just by hearing what you've said today, Estela, you're going to affect at least one viewer that watches this today. I know personally, probably about 50 people who have lived the situation that you were in, and it will help them. It will, if not help them, it will touch them, and it will touch them deep, So that's awesome, and thank you so much for that. I'm gonna let George see if he has anything to say. Thumbs up, thumbs down. If you don't, George, can you talk? Or are you good? Let me see. He's in. Hang on. Let me see if he wants to say something. Hang on. How do I unmute this thing? Ask to unmute. What is this madness? Oh, JK. I put the wrong button. It's not letting me unmute him. See, I try and be nice, and this is what happens. Never mind, George. Just pop in whenever. I'm supposed to be able to just let him in, but anywho, sorry, George, I tried. Anyways, you're good. We got you, bro. I'm excited. I mean, honestly, when you first talked about it, I'm like, okay, cool. You know, she's gonna have a bio about her balling and where she came from. But now that I know your story and I know that you do the mission trips and you love the psychology. Wow, psychology and psychiatry, it goes together. See, we got words here for you. Psychiatry and psychology together, it's huge, especially now within this 3 year frame that we're in. Okay, we got George. Do you have anything before I jump into our 5 questions? Do you have anything from what you've heard that you want to ask?
All right. Yeah, like I was trying to pay attention. Ask you, like, you're in the Christian. You did like some Christian stuff. That's what I like about it. Like, I know you mentioned something because I did something similar to that too. Because one of the things that we did for our ministry when I was in college was we went to Catalina Island and spent some time sharing our faith with each other with God. So with that said, I mean, what was that experience like? Like, I know you kind of mentioned something, but yeah, that's actually my question. Sorry about that.
You're good. No, you're good. So I think what he's saying is, okay, we talked about when you went to Taiwan. How did that, I know we talked about how it affected the people that were there. How did it affect you personally? Maybe he didn't catch that at the beginning. Like, what does it carry over to you today? Like, when you talk about
honestly,
it, bring back feelings, what is that?
Honestly, my relationship with God, it definitely, I was at a great place with God out there. And when I came back out here, it kind of went like back down. Like, I don't know what happened where it was just a rough patch. And
okay,
I kind of was like, man, I'm done with it. But then, going back to the experience and what I really got out of it, got me back to where I am today, where it's, I feel I'm more at peace being able to have the relationship that I have with him and just being able to, like I tell you, like just seeing what other people go through and just seeing how other people live. We're definitely very fortunate out here in the US, and even to simply shower, to simply like have sandals on, what I took a lot from that trip though was just honestly like the people that just wanting to help, just wanting to let them know like there's so much more out there, and just seeing how content they are with just a little piece of nothing,
yeah,
and just kind of like reflecting off of what you see there and then what you have here. It kind of just it's really off balance, and then you really look at it and you're like, wow, like what I have no complaints. You know what I mean?
Like why would
so like, yeah, it's good to feel what you feel, but at the same time I always remind myself, no matter what I'm going through, like I always remind myself like someone has it worse. Someone, especially going to these places, it just kind of shows you like you're very fortunate, like I know I keep repeating kind of the same thing about the people and stuff, but that was what was more the most touching thing about it was just seeing how other people live and they're so happy, and just kind of like, yeah, you don't have those pairs of shoes, or you don't have that degree or whatever the case, but it's like there's so much more to find like to be happy about, So I would just say it's just the humbleness, really.
Yeah, that's the word. That's the word looking for.
Yeah, like it's crazy. It's so unexplainable of how everyone is individually and what they've been through and their stories. I always love to hear other people's stories too, because you just never know what some people go through and how you can help them, whether that's a simple smile or a hug or
exactly. But again,
compliment.
On the flip side, you never know, even if they are the happy-go-lucky person, majority of the time, this is so cliche, but you hear it on TikTok, you hear it on Insta, you hear it on Facebook, you hear it all over the place. The happiest person is usually the one who's hurting the most because they don't want people to feel the pain that they're feeling, and they don't show it. So that's why you just got, whether the person's crying or the person's laughing, hey, how are you doing today? Are you good? Like I'll listen, and if they're like, I'm fine, you might know, you can read them, and then of course, then there's the person who's like, I'm fine. You're like, no, you're not, like I can I'm good at reading people. I'm like, no, you're not. You're lying to me. Like,
Yeah.
tell me, I'm not gonna say anything. So I get your answer. Let me see if George gets it. George, was that good? Thumbs up. Was that a good answer? You understand it? Oh, he's gonna pop on. Hello, can hear you.
Hey, yeah,
There we go.
that was a great answer. That was a great answer.
All right, makes sense. All right, now I'm excited for this book now because from beginning to where you are now, it's a pretty cool, pretty crazy story. So, all right, let's go from super serious to having a little fun. All right,
All right.
this is a question we call them. Well, it's like our final five. Me, George, my other panelists, Gilbert, Doc, Doc Shreen, and then Coach. We're all on the panel usually. And we made up these five questions at the end, just because. My first question, I'll do it so George doesn't have to. Who was I know we talked about mom and dad and your sisters. Who was your go ahead and mute you, George. Who was your main motivation growing up? It could be an athlete, it could be family, or even just a friend. It doesn't even matter.
That's a tough question, honestly, for me at least.
Okay.
Because I did a lot of stuff on my own. So I didn't really have someone that I really looked up to until I started really understanding more of like, seeing more games and watching college basketball and then watching NBA or WNBA.
Okay.
So I never really had like, as a kid, you know how kids have posters of a player. I never had that. No, I never really had that. I always had Laker flags on, like I always ride for my city kind of thing, but it was never really like a certain person that I was like, I want to be like them, Now that I'm older though, I would say, of course, like Kobe was a big inspiration in my life.
Shout out to Kobe, who's saying today. Go ahead.
Yes. I'm a really big Steph Curry fan, and then I really like
Curry. He's a good guy too. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah. We just interviewed Showtime Taylor last week, and he told us his story about meeting him and the fact that he was in jail for 26 years. And it was a crazy show, episode 44. But he met Curry. He actually got to the Warriors game, and he went to interview Curry, and he was just like, "Oh my God, this is really happening," But Curry's a great guy. He does all kinds of charity and stuff too. So I can see that in you. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's why I like those two guys the most, because they're loyal to their city, first of all, and like second of all, just how they handle themselves. I mean, you only see so much on social media. I don't even really care for social media like that, but every time I open up my Instagram or something, it's always one of them one of them pop up and stuff. But if I want to say, like, going back to like what really inspired me, honestly, was just like seeing like where me and my family come from, what we have, and just seeing just putting it in my mind that there's so much more out there for us, and we deserve so much more than what we have and what is presented to us. So I would say just envisioning where I want to be in the future, and obviously like giving my parents a better life is something that definitely inspired me.
I like it. That just got very deep all of a sudden. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
I like that though. I like that. I respect the hell out of that. I love authenticity. I love people who are real with me, and they're not like, "Oh yeah, my life was good, I'm cool," No, I went through this. I don't want other people to go through this. And this is why I'm telling you, so you can get it out to people who are struggling, who are homeless, who are, young ladies that are wanting to chase their dream, or even young men that want to chase their dream, but their parents are holding them back, or they don't see their parents, and mentally that's messing them up, or whatnot, and you're showing that you can get out of that kind of stuff, and you can still be the champion that you are, and still have an amazing heart like you do. So keep that up.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Second question. Okay, you mentioned Kobe, you mentioned Curry. This could be a guy in the NBA, this could be a girl in the WNBA, or you can do one of each. I don't really care. You have a chance to play one-on-one for an entire day with any NBA or WNBA superstar. Who are you choosing and why?
That's in a league right now?
It could be either played or is playing, past or present.
I mean, I'm gonna go with my two guys for sure that I said earlier.
Okay, so Kobe. What about WNBA? Got some stars over there.
I really like Christy Tolliver. She plays for the Sparks now.
Okay.
She's like a point guard. Yeah,
Oh,
I've watched her.
Yeah.
She's a lot older now, but I've always liked watching her play.
Yeah. George wants to say something. I can see it in his eyes.
No, I said shout out to Chrissy Tolliver because that's one of my favorite players. Unfortunately, Chelsea Gray's on our Sparks team. I wish she was in.
I gotta go. Why you got? Why you got five? Yeah. Why you gotta?
And then, yeah.
When we're down, bro, we were good. You got to talk about Chelsea. Damn.
Yeah, man, that's my favorite WNBA player. Her and Candace Parker.
She's pretty bad.
Of course, Dubl, but yeah.
Everybody, and the GOAT. Don't forget the GOAT. She had a.
Oh yeah.
Last night. Did you see what happened to Tarazi last night? Apparently, they were.
Oh no, I didn't get a chance to see that.
Who were they playing? Minnesota. They were playing Minnesota, and there was like 10 seconds left or something. They were down by 1, and the clock started ticking from 10, 9, 8. I think got to about 6, and then it froze. And then she drove. She hit a game-winning 3, and I guess they almost screwed her. They ended up winning. They reviewed the clock and said, "Oh, the clock had froze." One of the refs had accidentally blown the whistle or whatnot. It was a big debacle. It's all over social media right now. Big debacle. But they put another 1.1 on the clock, and Minnesota had a chance to win. It was crazy.
That's crazy. I like her too. I would want to spend a day in there with her too.
She'd go. Okay, with that said, how do you feel about her being the new logo? Do you think she deserves it? Like, is she the GOAT of WNBA?
I didn't even know she was.
She's the new logo, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they changed it this year, I think.
You can't deny greatness, so.
Yeah. How much?
If it's her time and she deserves that, then that's what she's destined for that. So.
That must be crazy, like playing on your own logo. How awesome would that be, right?
Yeah, that's so dope. Yeah, that's amazing. Good for her. I didn't know.
Yeah, so shout out to the GOAT. That's awesome. Okay, 3 more. So this one's called Blank Check. This one's always interesting, especially you being an LA girl. Everybody's like, oh, she's going to choose the Sparks. Maybe, maybe not. You know, we actually had one who chose Vegas, and she was from LA. I think we had one other one for the guys. They chose New York. So I was like, okay. You get a blank check handed to you right now. You can play for any WNBA team right now. Where's Estela Gutierrez going and why?
I would love to play for the Storm. Seattle Storm.
Oh, legacy. I like it. I like it. I know George's gonna have something to say. Hey, if people sleep on the Storm, man, they're legendary. They got Sue Bird. They got, what's the other big name they have over there? I'm so stupid. But they got multiple titles, man. Multiple titles.
They got loyalty.
Yeah, they're beasts.
Hey, Ricky, let me say something real quick.
I knew he wanted to say something. I can do it.
Like, when I see you play, you kind of play like Sue Bird, Estela.
You gotta speak up.
Okay, you kind of yeah, I think you kind of play like Sue Bird though, a little bit, like low key. Like that's what for real.
I like
because
she's
a point guard, she's feeding her teammates. Hey, Sue Bird is a legendary point guard, so I'm saying that for a reason.
Okay, well, I like her. I just love Diana.
I like Sue Bird too, though. She's dope.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things happening in the NBA and the WNBA. We only see so much, but out of what we see, it's pretty dope.
I did notice they're getting a little bit better exposure this season, which I think is awesome. They absolutely.
Yeah, well, I was out last night and I saw their game on big screen. I was like, what?
Yes, sir.
Like, when did they do this? But it sucks that it has to take so much like stuff for like us to get any kind of recognition as women, and I think it's all they see us as is, oh, you guys are just good for this, for kids and to clean to this. It's like, no, that's not.
WNBA games are exciting. I love watching WNBA and college girls. Are you kidding me? March Madness was just that. It was madness. The girls like Baylor. Are you kidding? UConn. That tournament was insanity.
Yeah.
Shout out. We if you know us, you know our show. We build up the ladies. We love. Like, what, ladies need equality. You guys, you're just as good as the guys. If not, there's some that are even better. It's like, you guys, the recognition's, it's slowly coming, but it's slowly long overdue.
Oh, definitely. I just hope it continues, and they start really just giving us a chance,
No, I agree. Well, who knows? One day we get that one female in the NBA. We already got female coaches in the MLB. We got female coaches in the NFL. Becky Hammond, we've already said it. She will be the first NBA. Oh, she's done a game, but she will be the first official female NBA coach. I'm calling it.
Wow. Yeah.
And you got someone like Pop in front of you. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah.
Better motivation than that.
It's a great resume right there.
And she's got a summer title under her belt.
Yep.
So last year, right? I think last year she got it.
I think so, yeah.
Because the Lakers had it the year before. So yeah, we love you, Becky Hammond. It's gonna happen. She should have got a job 2 years ago when she was free, but I think it's better that she didn't, because no one deserves to fill that San Antonio chair more than Becky Hammond. So
she deserves it. Honestly, I'm really proud of her.
Yeah, so we'll
standing up for all of us. She's not standing for herself. She's standing for a lot of women. So it's amazing.
Damn right. All right, 2 more. This one's George's. George, I got you, so you don't have to pop on. Your favorite basketball movie and why? It can be literally anything. We get interesting answers on this one.
I know this is probably dumb, but
nope.
Mike was always one of my favorites.
Mike, that was fun.
I love that one. It's just it's different.
Okay.
If we get on the serious side, then I love literally all documentaries that have to do with people's path to making it or not making it.
Coach Carter, something like that, Hoosier, stuff like that.
Yeah, Coach Carter is really cool too.
Okay.
I would say Coach Carter's would be if I'm being serious, I would say Coach Carter's my number one because of just the story behind it. Okay.
Love it. Awesome. Okay. You didn't mention Space Jam, which is different for people. I do want to throw it out. No. Okay. I'm going to go with the You're not too excited about it, but I want to ask you, being a Kobe fan, being an LA girl, I always ask people this. Do you feel, we got a Laker is the superstar this year in Space Jam 2, which has our friend Black Italian in it and a couple other of our friends in there as well. So shout out to them. Do you feel it's a little too late? Should they have done it 10 years ago, 15 years ago with Kobe? Or do you think that this timing is still okay?
I think they should have done it a lot earlier and with Kobe.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Okay, well, that's what I felt. So
okay, good.
We always ask, and some people are like, yeah, but Kobe's not, he doesn't.
Not so yeah, not so a lot later or a lot earlier, but I would say maybe 5 years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
That makes about okay. Yeah, that makes about right. That'd be the right age. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. we got to check it out at least. That was our era, and Black Italian's in it, so we have to go see it. So
yeah,
most definitely.
I might. We'll see.
You know what I'm interested in? I'm interested to see who the Monstars are going to be, because I was told. Well, I was told originally there was no Monstars, and I was super bummed. And then I was legit mad. And we interviewed Alicia, and she's like, no. From what I can tell you legally, there are Monstars, but I can't tell you who they are. So I'm like, damn it. So I know there's a WNBA superstar. She did mention that, which I think is amazing. That's a huge step forward in the industry. So putting a woman in a men's sports movie, I think that's gonna be amazing. I just wonder if it's gonna be like Taurasi. Is it gonna be someone a little Parker, maybe? Another person I was mad when she left. That one hurt. That one hit me here. When I found out where she went, I wasn't as mad because that's her home. She's from Illinois.
Yeah. So. You always got to go back. I guess a lot of people go back.
Exactly.
They want to finish their careers there.
True.
Or just something new. There's nothing wrong with something new.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so our last question before we do our final question. I don't know if George is going to do a final question or not, but I have one. We have our last question. We call it the Fab Five. We're stupid, and we used to call it the Mount Rushmore of basketball. Then we realized it was 5, and Mount Rushmore only has 4 presidents. So we changed it to the Fab Five. So Who are your Fab Five? You can do NBA and WNBA if you want, or you can do just WNBA. It's cool. Who are your Fab Five? It could be any position, any era. We asked everybody this question, and we've answered this as well. So what do you got?
I would say obviously MJ, Kobe, Steph.
Okay, there's your three. You're gonna get
I really like KD and Kyrie Irving.
Hang on. And Kyrie? You said and Kyrie?
Yeah.
So you're gonna
There's so many more other guys though, but I would say those are my top 5.
Okay, so you got KD as your only big? You don't want any bigs?
I should have a big, but
it's all good.
Shaq, of course, great.
You do what you want. This is your team. All right,
I probably need a big, but we'll figure it out.
Right. I'm gonna let George cry for a little bit. Go ahead, George. Go ahead.
Estela, so we asked everyone this: which Shaq are you taking?
He didn't say
Shaq.
He didn't say Shaq.
Hey. Oh, you didn't say Shaq?
He didn't say Shaq. KD.
What did you say? Oh, she said KD.
KD. I know you don't like KD.
No, I said Shaq would be dope too as a big.
She said he would be dope. So
to have.
So you can do both. You can complain about KD and then ask about Shaq.
Okay, so if you would have Shaq on your team, which Shaq would you want to get? The Shaq in Orlando or the Shaq in LA? Or the
in
Shaq
LA.
in Boston?
Anywhere.
I would say in LA.
All day LA.
Okay.
All day LA.
LA all day.
All right. All right, I'm gonna pop you off. It's getting loud. Okay, so, but usually he doesn't like KD. That's why I kind of threw him on the spot. Okay, so that's
because he went to the Warriors.
Oh, now you done it. Now you done it.
That's what you guys mad about?
No, now you done it.
No. It's a long story. There's more to it. Yeah, but like here's the thing though. KD went to a fully stacked team. LeBron James, he went to a Heat team that was good, but not as good as the Warriors were like a year ago when they won 72
Yeah, but he
games.
still started
That's just my original argument.
He still started
I know he started. Well, like, okay, take LeBron James out of Miami Heat. Like, they're not going to be the best team in the East. They're going to be like third in the East at best because you have the Boston Celtics with the Big Four and Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Rajon Rondo, and Kevin Garnett. Yeah. But like if you put if you take KD off that Warriors team, the Warriors are still the favorites in the West. So like my argument is he made the weakest move in competitive mankind history. So if he wants to be known as the best, he has to do it. He's the one that has to be the catalyst. Like, yes, he's an MVP and all, but he didn't. He was expected to win.
In this era, though, you're not really gonna find any teams that don't have more than one superstar now.
I know that, but I'm just saying that, like, if he wants to be the best, like, I wouldn't, because like those championships, yes, he won those championships, but to me that didn't mean anything because the Warriors could have easily won without him. Right. That was just my argument. I tell everybody.
Yeah. For me, it's his game more than anything. Though. I don't really care what he did.
I'm not knocking his game. Like, he's a great player. So, like, no doubt about it. I just didn't like the way he went about the situation. And like LeBron James did the same thing. Like, I was mad LeBron did that also.
For sure.
Like, when he was saying, like, not one, not two, like, it was not necessary. And that rubbed, like, the 29 other teams the wrong way.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
I can see that.
I told you done it, Estela. He'll go for hours talking about that thing.
Hey, it's all good. This happens to me at least once a day.
Right?
This happens at least once a day, man. It's not nothing new. I have this argument with a lot of people.
No, it's true though. There's teams all over with big names. I mean, look at baseball, look at the Dodgers, look at the Yankees, teams like that and stuff. But no, right. Same thing like But no, I wouldn't say the Chicago Bulls because, yeah, they had a really good team, but they had a well-rounded team in the 90s. But like he said, the Miami team, not as much because that was the big three. Celtics, the big three. Lakers, we're Laker fans. We've always had superstars. Let's not be hypocrites. Just saying, George. All right. Before we jump into the I want to do one more Fab Five, WNBA. Can you possibly give us a WNBA Fab Five?
Ooh. I'm taking what's her name from Dallas Wings. She went to Notre Dame. I forgot her name.
What's her name? Not Agumuke, because she went to.
It starts with an O though, huh?
Isn't it Agumuke?
No, not a Agumuke.
Agumukes, right?
Yeah, but they play for the Sparks. This girl plays
Both
for
of them?
Dallas Wing.
Crap. All right, I think I know who you're talking about.
The one that hit like the game winner.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about. I just don't know.
But I'm taking Tarasi. I'm taking the girl I'm telling you about. I'm taking Maya Moore, Lisa Leslie.
Love Maya Moore.
And Brittany
Leslie.
Griner.
Oh, Griner. Everybody hates on Griner. I love Brittany Griner. She's a killer big.
She's cool.
One more spot.
Was that 5?
You said Tarasi, the girl from Notre Dame, Leslie, and Griner, right? Or did I miss one?
Yeah, you did. I think I said, what did I say? You said you got Maya Moore?
Maya Moore. What did I know? I wrote down Maya Moore. Okay, Maya Moore. I thought I wrote that down. I'm really curious to know who it is now. It's going to bother me.
Let me see if I can find it.
Please, I'm writing it right now. Let me see. Look at this. I'll rush in to find out who it is.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm going for it right now. That played at Notre Dame. All right, let's find out. Oh, dear Lord, that's her. Enrique. Oh, Agumbawale.
Agumbawale.
Yeah. I love her. I just didn't know. I didn't remember her name. I did a lot of reports on her when I was doing my podcast. Okay, yeah, she's pretty sick. And she's not even that big. She just slays, you know? She's pretty dope. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, the game, she was ridiculous. I was so happy when she was drafted. Cool. George, do you have anything? Just give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. Anything that you want to ask before we jump into our final questions? And not
yeah.
It's not a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So go ahead.
Okay, my bad.
You're good. Go.
So I asked all these women this question. So who should we go after for our next show? Like which female or which baller that you know that we should go after for our next show? That's number one. Number two is I know you know my girl Maria because she played for our co-ed basketball team. So how's that chemistry like on that N2S team that you guys are on Thursdays? Did you guys hear me?
Kinda. We got the first question. First question was, who do you think we should bring in that you know of or you've played against? And the second one I wasn't too sure about. I guess you're friends with or your teammates.
No, I said my friend Maria. So how's that chemistry going between you and her in the
small
backcourt?
How's the chemistry going?
Yeah, the small one. Maria
Martinez, I think he said.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Martinez.
So who did we bring and how's your chemistry with Maria?
Me and Maria are cool. They actually were trying to recruit. I was playing in the league at ELAC, and that's where I saw them play. And her friend actually came over and was like, you trying to play with us? Like, she says, I need a superstar. Like, do you want to play for us? And that's kind of how it started. And we've been good friends since.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Again, you never know who you're going to pick up, where you're going to pick them up. And then who do you think we should bring on? I mean, we've got a lot of people lined up, but who would you recommend?
On my team or someone else?
Anyone in general.
Anybody.
I'd probably say one of my teammates, Jasmine.
Okay.
Johnson.
Jasmine Johnson.
She's cool too. She's like my sister.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you can shoot me her Insta, we'll make that happen. Cool. Because we're lined up for pretty much all of May, but I'm still looking for people for June. So that would be awesome. Once they see this, maybe they'll be interested. Coolio. Yeah. George, was that your final question? I sound like a game show host.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, coolio.
Mm-hmm.
I got my final question now. After hearing what you've told me, honestly, I don't know if you would change anything. My question is, if you had to do your journey all over again, from childhood to now, what would you change about it and why? Or would you change anything?
I always say this, I would picked up a basketball a lot earlier. I would have picked up a basketball a lot earlier than I did, for sure.
Okay. Any particular reason? Just did you just was a little bit of a struggle when you were older?
I mean, sports were never a thing in my family. They still aren't. Like it was never like, this is so crazy to me to be a basketball player. Like it's not in our family background, like nothing. Like my brother told me when I was about to go to ninth grade, he's like, come shoot a basketball. And I was like, nah, you know. And I ended up going, and it was just natural. My form was natural, everything was pretty natural, and then it kind of came from there. But I would say picking up a basketball and taking it more serious earlier than I did.
More serious. Okay, cool. That's not the answer I was looking for, and I like it. Awesome. Well, you know, Estela, first off, we went over on time, but I don't care because it's our show. We can do that. So thank you so much. Again, you guys are listening to All Sports Media Team Presents Double Dribble, episode 45, The True EST with Estela Gutierrez. Estela, I mean, your background is awesome. You've had a really crazy journey. The fact that you have the huge heart that you have, I feel that that's going to touch someone when they see this video. Good luck running for those championships on Thursday, Saturday. I'm going to see you on Thursday, so, you know, you never know.
Invite us out on Saturdays too.
Yeah, I think we're on Saturdays also.
For sure.
Yeah, but you know, just keep that drive going. But remember to keep what you've been doing. Don't stop doing that. Keep doing the charity every time you have a chance. And like we talked about that cheeseburger, you know, just keep offering those cheeseburgers out there. Just be like, hey, are you okay? You know, like you have the heart and you have the drive, and I feel that you're going to change a lot of lives in the future. You're still really young, so I feel that you're going to change a lot in the next coming years. So keep that drive going. I'm excited about the book. You better keep us updated about this book because
sure.
I want it. I want to see it. I want to sign a copy. Just saying. I want to see it. Do you know what you're? Oh, we never even asked. What are you going to call it? Do you have a title you want to call it, or that you know?
Not yet. I actually was just thinking about it before you asked.
No.
I was like, huh. I have some names, but I don't want to put them out there yet because I'm still not sure.
If you do use it, you know, you got the copyrights and all that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I had fun. I hope you had fun with me and this weirdo down here. You know, I've seen you on the court, but getting to know you today.
Whoa.
You know I love you. Shut up.
Taking shots out here?
Shut up. You know I love you. Shut up.
And always happens every show. I'm like the Charles Barkley of the show. I don't know if you know, watch Inside the NBA, but that's who I am, the Charles Barkley of the show.
Yeah, Doc is Shaq. Exactly. So yeah, we love him. He drives us crazy, but we love him. But honestly, from my heart to yours, I learned a lot about not just you, but like things that I can make myself better with. So thank you for that. You're welcome back anytime you want. You got my link. You can always join in. I know you got practice in the mornings, but there might be those days that you don't. Or you just you have a teammate on, you want to pop in there after practice, you're more than welcome to. We'd love to have you back. And definitely keep us updated about that book because we're really interested and we'll help you get the word out about it.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much for having me. It means a lot.
Absolutely. So one last time, Double Dribble episode 45, The True EST with Estela Gutierrez. Estela, you're awesome. Keep having that awesome heart. Have a great day. On behalf of myself and this weirdo down here, George Acholaps, he's actually amazing, you guys. He's multitasking right now. He's at the Basketball Beauty. He's getting some pretty sick shots. He's one of the best cameramen I know. So shout out to this guy down here. On behalf of myself and George Achola, we got the amazing Estela Gutierrez. Be safe out there. Give nothing but love and pass out them cheeseburgers. Right? Yeah.
That is bad.